have the page up. Cut this.
Hey there.
Hi.
Welcome to the Nick's Boots from Start to Finish podcast. My name is Shyler Mao. I'm your host. I'm joined by Lucas Grassberger, Kelsey Lursbach. So we're here to announce the Contender Championship work phase winners. We whittled it down from some great choices, some amazing photography, some wonderful experiences, how Nick's Boots affects your work life and makes it easier, makes it possible, makes it more comfortable, makes it more longer lasting. But most of all, it's a customer appreciation event, right?
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah, we get some great content. And yeah, we might use it for social media or advertising. And it's not like this is all about getting user-generated content. It's definitely not. It's about appreciating our customers because they're the most important thing in my life, personally, outside of maybe my wife.
I was just going to say.
But customers are the lifeblood of any business.
Absolutely.
And we have to remember that. And so this is one way we help to remember that, celebrate that, experience that. So with no further ado, Lucas, would you like to announce our first place finisher?
Absolutely. So like Shyler said, there's a lot of great entries. We had to go through and kind of, we all voted. Everyone had different opinions on which one was the best. But overall, the number one after kind of...
And just, we did heavily bias towards the community votes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So we used upvotes as kind of our starting place.
Yep.
So the community kind of decided which ones we'd be looking at to decide out of those ones.
Yep.
But number one was Keith Rao.
I mean, it's not a real name. It's an internet, it's an internet handle.
Keith Rao, the Woodsman Contender entry. I think this was actually the very first entry we got. Beautiful pair of Woodsman boots. Our bread and butter.
Well, they're definitely not our bread and butter.
Well, okay.
I think they epitomize the Nick's Boots history, ethos, function, purpose in a way that's really impossible for any other boot. This is like
true. That's
the
true.
penultimate logging boot for climbing on logs. You could even like raft logs down a river in these things.
Yep. Absolutely. I guess they're actually kind of quite the opposite of our bread and butter. They are really difficult to make.
We make like 4 to 5 of these a year.
Yeah.
They take about 3.5 hours just to insert the spikes into the sole. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
But a wonderful product, and I think they really epitomize what Nick's Boots was founded on, which is essentially a logging boot back in the 1960s.
Should we read his entry?
I think you could summarize it.
Okay. So his entry, he's a forester and part-time logger in the PNW, and his boot of choice, of course, is the Nick's Woodsman. A lot of his day consists of navigating forested mountains in Idaho or Oregon, so he's right here in the PNW, which is awesome as well. A lot of hazardous terrain, and his cork boots are required for his job, and the Nicks are the thing he can rely on.
Yeah.
And really just keeps him safe throughout his day.
I think we should do an episode on why it's spelled C-A-U-L-K and pronounced cork, but...
I think it's really just because people don't want to say caulk.
Fair enough.
I think that's honestly why, but I could be wrong.
We'll investigate. The Woodsman is funny. It's a funny boot in the sense that I think it might be like it was one of the first boots we did a How It's Made on when we started doing the How It's Made series, as innovators in that space that have been, replicated but never copied. And it did the best. It might have done the overall best of any video we have because it's a very interesting product, right? It's got spikes on it. It takes forever to make. It's made a lot of it is made by hand in terms of the spike installation. Conversely as well, I remember when we first started doing like Google advertising, this was in our product feed, and I had to fix it because it would get like half of the clicks with like one purchase, you know?
Right.
So it's an attractive boot. I get it. I mean, similarly, like with our Crocs video, that where we made a replica woodsman boot out of a Croc and crushed some soda cans. That was also a crowd pleaser. But yeah, if you put spikes on something, people get interested. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to Mr. Rao. A fantastic job with the photography and a really, really nice depth to the story, and love to hear about how the Knicks can, you know, make your job a little easier and possible. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Okay, number two.
Number two is similarly Tree Grower by Skywine. Another forester, but this person is a head grower for a tree nursery also in the PNW.
Yep.
So he uses, this is actually our bread and butter.
This is the bread and butter.
He wears our Builder Pros.
In full rough out.
Yep. Beautiful boots. He spends a lot of his time in the nursery greenhouse and planting sites, which is often steep, deep, wet, and covered in logging debris.
Yeah.
So he needs
Near and dear to my heart. Some of you may have listened to my dad's interview. He was a logger growing up, especially to pay his way through college. And I can smell this photo. You know, those photos you can smell. This smells like a sawmill. And I love that. So yeah, this participant basically reseeds mountainsides after they get logged.
Yeah.
Very important work, obviously, to create the next generation of trees to harvest, to build our homes and fill our needs, and also prevent erosion. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Wine. Thank you for participating, and we feel very fortunate to have you as a customer, and are glad that we can be a part of your life in this way.
Absolutely. I will say I like that he's got some great pictures of the boots, but also of him just at work doing what he does. And he may have gotten some bonus points from some people because there is a dog in one of the photos.
I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, right.
You know?
He knows how to win.
Absolutely. Kelsey, you'd probably have a cat, wouldn't you? I think that'd help. We got some cat people on the side.
I would try not to get my cat in the photo, but he would not take that. So
Mr. Michaels, yeah.
Honestly, the picture with the dog, it's like he got everything perfect. The dog is on his back. He's got a sapling in its mouth, and there's still Builder Pros in the photo.
My goodness.
It is a great photo, and I'm very excited to use that.
Yep. Wonderful material. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for providing that. Number three.
Number three is Particle Partition, Weather Shield Black Mock Toe Pros.
Yeah, another classic. God dang it.
Electrical Apprentice.
Yes.
Using Mock Toe Pros from our trades program.
Our people, yes.
Yeah. So he's doing mostly small commercial and high-end custom homes. And he says his good quality, durable, and comfortable footwear makes it so his days aren't miserable.
Yeah. Now, it's funny because we just sent out a survey. So we're trying to learn more about our customers to better serve them. And one of the questions is about, you know, how much money you make, and, you know, just trying to get to know you a little better. It's a little intrusive, I admit. So we definitely let you say, prefer not to say. But what I will say, I was very impressed by our workers, our work boot buyers. And for those of you starting out, I think you're going to do okay. Yeah, it's going to be a good life. You've got a bright future ahead of you. So yeah, Mr. Partition, it's a classic boot. The Mock Toe Pro is a top fiver for us.
Absolutely.
In terms of volume, and we're wonderful to see that with the Weather Shield. I think this is a wonderful configuration, right? It's got weather resistance. It's got the 365 stitch for additional water resistance, and just a really great long lasting boot. Yeah. Okay, number four.
This one's a little bit different than some of the others.
Pulled on the heartstrings a little bit here.
Yeah, and this was actually, I think this was our top upvoted post. So this one is the Bear 6, 18 years in the making. So this post was interesting. It was less about like how they use their boots on the job, and more what the boots mean to them in regards to their job.
Yep.
So talking about how they have worked for the same company since the age of 19. They recently got a promotion to project manager at the company.
I mean, but doing important work. So starting
Yeah.
out building and maintaining electrical substations.
Yep.
Yep.
So started off, doing, the basic work, moving up to foreman. He said he was content with that job until about 7 years ago when his daughter was born. And then he quickly realized that he no longer wanted to spend all of his time on the road away from his family. So he started working his way toward the position of project manager.
Yep.
And when he eventually got that promotion, the first thing he did is he went to our website and bought himself a pair of Packers.
Which he'd been looking at for quite some time. Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations on going corporate there, Mr. Bear 6. I hear it's a pretty cushy life. I hope it is for your sake.
Mm-hmm.
But also thanks for all you did to keep the lights on. But yeah, I thought this was a really cool example of, maybe it wasn't used to, quite as functionally as some of the other options, but definitely I think represents the aspirational component of these boots. And, it sounds like after a very, a lot of hard work, this person really deserved them. So congratulations on your family achieving your professional goals. And we are just very flattered that we could be part of that and be part of something that you're, working to achieve.
Absolutely.
That means a lot to us and is frankly kind of humbling. So congratulations to the Bear, number 6.
5.
No, he's the 6th.
Sorry.
Bear.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're on to 5.
The Bear number 6 is number 4. Now we're on to number 5.
That's right.
So number 5, I feel like it's funny. The woodsman and tree grower, I think we were all mostly in agreement. Those were like 1 or 2 spot, and it was close between them who got 1 and who got 2. And then 3, 4, 5, all of us had it all over the place.
Yep.
I personally really like this one, mostly because of the writing itself. So number 5 was Mediocre Cookie 9560. Nick's Overlander, Love at First Sight. First sentence is, these are the boots that started it all, my first pair of Nick's. His work days are spent as a motor equipment operator for a public works department. The work he does depends on the season. Winter is spent plowing and salting roads. Spring is spent fixing damaged curbs and other beautification projects. Summers see large blacktop jobs and other infrastructure projects. And fall is spent mainly on leaf collection. He's also fixing streetlights, traffic lights, those types of things. The very last paragraph is part of what made this go so high for me. So he says, how do my boots help me get my work done? What role do they play? You ask. The answer is obvious. You've heard it time and time again. I'm not the first to say, and I won't be the last. They are the most comfortable, supportive pair of boots I've ever owned. And then he says, these are the boots that started it all. These boots led me to sell off all the other boots that I knew I'd never wear again. The boots that opened my eyes to the craft and history of boot making. The boots that taught me that boots should get better with age rather than deteriorate rapidly and get thrown away. The boots that started this passion that I am so grateful to have found. These are the boots that started it all. Thank you, Nick's.
Yeah. Well, flattery will get you somewhere here at Nick's Boots. Absolutely. But yeah, another, interesting thing. So we're like continuing to try and learn more about the customers and you figure out what are the top 3 reasons. There's definitely some differences between like a heritage boot buyer and a work boot buyer.
Absolutely.
But one thing, a few things that are very common are the focus and the desire for quality, durability, and comfort. And especially on the work side slightly over indexes on those compared to the heritage side. But not by a ton, we're talking like less than 5% in terms of like a percentage of the overall response rate. So these are some really important qualities to our customers, and obviously we're committed to maintaining those standards and providing that solution. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this was like anytime you can be a paragon of a product type to somebody, I think you're doing some good things. And
absolutely.
Telling us that, we'll get you some free stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's a great job. So congratulations to Mr. Cookie. Well, I always wonder, I find that I've been on Reddit for a really long time. It's kind of depressing, actually, how long? Since 2008. And I remember back then, usernames were whimsical. They had meaning, like you could describe yourself or how you acted, and it was like a thing. Now I think they're all AI generated. And so that's fine. Maybe this one's not, but you see a lot more that I think are just kind of created with user generation or username generators, which is fair. Like we're all trying to balance identity, anonymity, who we are, what do we want to participate in online, especially these days.
Well, it's interesting. I think with Reddit, when you make a new account, it'll automatically just be like, here's a random username for you. And you can
interesting.
Opt to change it. So I think a lot of people just make an account to look at stuff.
Well, there you go.
Don't bother to change it. So that's why you see so many of those.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I haven't made a new account in quite a while. So, okay. Yeah. So thank you for participating. Your words mean a lot to us. We'll definitely be sharing these around with everybody in the building, and congratulations on your victory. Yeah. You deserve it.
Congrats. Yeah, it was interesting. These were the ones we decided for the top 5. There were a lot of runner-ups that were kind of, vying for the top 5 spot. Some honorable mentions for sure. I think we talked about maybe even sending some of these 3 or so.
Yeah, we'll send some stuff out to the runners-up, we will talk about. We did want to there was kind of a structure to the prompt, and so this was kind of a mixture of community engagement, community feedback via the voting, but also which one kind of conformed the most to kind of what we were asking for. So some runner-ups, we've got one of the more interesting posts that I think we saw.
I thought this was awesome.
Tangible Lily 929 with the very light on his feet, dancing with his wife. He's a dance instructor, and his husband and wife packers. That post got a ton of views, which I thought was kind of interesting. And also one of the few video contributions as well. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I will say I was very surprised to jump onto Reddit to look at the page and see a video of someone dancing. Yeah. I was lost for a second. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is an entry. This is really cool.
Yes. We have Mr. Doc Lineman, a regular and very prized and valued member of the community, talking about his tan waxed flesh. Didn't really go into what he did in them very much. So that was a ding. But we do really appreciate the photography, which was beautiful.
Yeah. I will say it's tough because Doc Lyman has he's posted so many times what he does. And so
I think that maybe he assumed everybody knew. I mean, it isn't his name.
Yeah, so there's definitely some we liked the posts, but also this post in particular didn't really talk too much about. Yeah. Yeah,
no, the lineup of the lineman with the boots on, that's a classic.
But
so
I believe he placed pretty high last year. So I didn't feel
no, there's more opportunities. Who's to say there won't be opportunities to win in the Heritage Contest that's coming up.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, congratulations to the winners. We'll be in touch. We'll be reaching out with your prizes. I believe we said that it basically goes to a draft, if you will.
Yep. So first place winner, Keith Rao, he will get his pick of the prizes first, and then second will get pick of what's left, third, fourth, and then fifth will get whichever prize hasn't been picked yet, which they're all fantastic.
And what are the prizes, Lucas?
Great question. I don't have the page up. Cut this.
Because we do really want to thank our sponsors who helped us put this together.
I'll get there.
There's a Spitfire 22.
Thank you, Kelsey.
From Buck Knives.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Custom Spitfire with
Spitfire.
the Knicks logo.
Yeah, Buck Knives.
On it.
Super hot knife.
Yeah. They came by and showed us, and it's very pretty.
Yep, beautiful.
Then Heat Straps has donated a $500 gift card.
Yep.
And then from Knicks, there's a pair of boots, a tool tote, and a belt.
Yes. Yeah. So some wonderful prizes. Thank you to Heat Straps and Buck Knives for being a part of this. They're going to continue to be involved as we kind of work through the second and third championships here. But, always a pleasure to work with them, and they've been great partners. We encourage you to check them out just as brands. We think they do some really good stuff. Heat Straps is nationally famous now after being featured on the ABC Evening News in December. I think they're just starting to come up from air from that. But yeah, so we've got some great prizes coming out to you. And then we've also got upcoming. When is the Heritage Championship launching?
The Heritage Championship is launching in a couple weeks. I think the 12th of February.
Okay.
And the prompt for that is a little bit more focused on the boot itself. So that whereas the work competition was all about what you do in your boots, how you use them, how they're important to you in that regard, Heritage is more focused towards the patina, telling a story.
It's
with
about
boots.
it's about the beauty. It's about the looks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is funny because again, I'm finding out all these interesting things about the differences in the people that we sell to, and design and looks is, while not unimportant to the work boot buyer, it's very paramount to the Heritage buyer, as you might expect. And so we're going to celebrate that, right? And so, like what shows really well on the internet is photos of beautiful boots, and, looking forward to seeing some of the things that come out of that. I think there's going to be a lot of creativity with the photography, the settings.
Absolutely.
We've even seen some interesting evolutions, if you will. I think we saw a post where somebody kind of bracketed their, I think it was Packers in like an Apple box or something like that. It was a nice,
I think that was that Shiny Hunters? I think those were
that was Carl.
Yeah,
was Carl.
Carl, his wife.
Shiny Hunter's wife, Carl. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So this post, and this is something I thought about with a lot of my boots. You look at them, the scuffs and dings and stains and things like that. A lot of times you can like pinpoint where and how you got those.
Sure.
So the prompt is basically every pair of boots tells a story, whether they're worn with pride from the first day or have weathered years of use. Your boots carry history. What story do your boots tell, and how does their journey mirror your own?
Absolutely.
So highlighting that patina and that wear.
Yeah, I know it's, we always go back and forth on this, right? It's like, is this corny? Is this cool? We're coming out with some products, and I asked the team, I was like, is this dorky? And they said, yeah, but I think it's going to sell. So, you've changed, Kelsey. No, we've changed, Kelsey. But we're evolving over the years. And, I think you can argue we make the best boots in the world. And let's have some fun with it, right? Yeah. That's life's too short. So we're going to have some fun with this competition. Talk about your experiences, talk about what the boots have gone through and how they've ended up where they are. And, we appreciate everyone contributing, and, boots are emotional, right? So, brands matter, boots matter, associations matter, and, things that go on your feet, things that come between you and the ground, they matter. So we want to be part of that conversation and, be a part of your lives, learn more about you. And, we really appreciate everybody who participated in this and who's going to participate in the next, 2 competitions following the Heritage competition. We'll have the grand finale.
Yeah. And that one will be less category focused and more just open for everybody.
Open for everybody. Yeah. Yeah. So we've tightened it up. You notice that these competitions are only a week long. So hopefully we kind of pack a lot of great content and engagement into a short period of time. And provide a venue for you to kind of tell us and the world about yourselves and frankly, your boots.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to the winners. We look forward to seeing you in the next couple months in these championships, and really appreciate you being part of our podcast and listening. And more than anything, if you're a customer, we appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll talk to you later, guys. Thank you so much for being here. See you around.